Okay, well, I'm going to respond to what you said. Number one, you said that all
Yeah,
people eat meat and blah, blah, blah. That's truly irrelevant. Just because we evolved doing it doesn't make it okay. We also evolved to invade other people and rape them and take their stuff, doesn't make it morally okay. So your point's pretty much irrelevant on that and debunked. And just because we evolved doing it doesn't make it a good thing, as I just said. And that's basically what I need to say to debunk your point. But by all means, you can keep trying to say, "Oh, I got you here. You didn't get the vegan. I know what you're trying to do, but it really just doesn't work." But if you have any other thing you want to say, I'll go ahead and listen. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. You can bring up the sources you said you were bringing up.
but you've said a lot of things, but I've not still heard your source, and I've not made out what you've not made one point.
Literally
Yeah.
read you the National Institute of Health that literally says being vegan is far more superior than eating meat and is a lot more healthy. Vegans on average are a lot more healthy than meat eaters. So I literally said
Okay,
that.
can you share the source?
If you refuse the source, that's on you, buddy. But I'm not going to keep repeating the same thing to you, which I literally just said. Hey, would you want to debate?
Oh, hey man. Can
Would
I
you want to debate?
can I say that I can debate either one you want, first, second, or third.
Sir, do you have something you disagree with here? How it works is that you have a disagreement and then you come
Yeah,
in and debate it. You don't
all
ask me
three.
to the topic. These are the topics.
Yeah, I disagree with all three, man.
Okay, well, which one do you want to go through first? We can go through one by one.
All right. Well, first of all, evolution is a theory, not a fact.
It's a scientific theory. Do you know the difference between a scientific theory and a theory?
Yeah, I know. They're both theories.
No, a
They're not proven.
scientific theory is essentially a fact because it's been backed up by science and it has evidence behind it and it's got repeated reputable tests from verifiable sources that have been repeatedly done and has been verified. Theories are me just saying something without any evidence, any tests, any substantial empirical evidence to back up what I'm saying. That's the difference, and that's why evolution is a fact, not a theory. Does that help you
Can,
out, or do you need to repeat
can
it
you
again?
provide a source for that, or you just made that up?
This is literally how science works. I'm not going to do your
It's
homework.
literally not though.
This is basic science. Do you know what a key part of a science is? It's falsifiability. It needs to be falsifiable. Evolution is falsifiable because we can test that and we've tested it and it's been proven to be true. So,
Right. So we've seen monkeys turn into humans, right? Right. So
no, yes, we essentially have, depending on your definition of monkeys, I think what you're talking about is our ancestral apes, which absolutely did. We have a common ancestor with chimps, they're the closest relative. Pan, we are with the family compared to Homo sapiens, which the family we have a common ancestor. So evolution is absolutely a fact. I don't know what you're trying to say.
right, and I'm Santa Claus. So God is imaginary. Why don't you prove it? You're making a claim. Prove it.
Okay. So,
The
pardon?
burden of proof is on you. God is imaginary. Prove it.
Religious?
Yeah. Prove God is
Religion.
imaginary.
What religion are you?
Muslim.
Okay, Allah. The God of the Quran, Allah. Okay. Well, do you think God is there's certain internal critiques I could do about it, of course. So number one, do you think God is all loving, all good?
Prove that God is imaginary, bro. You made the claim.
I'm doing it. I'm asking questions because if we find a contradiction within the makeup of your God, then it's basically false
Well,
and
then that wouldn't prove that it's fake.
non-contradictory.
That wouldn't prove it's fake, though.
Pardon?
That wouldn't prove it's fake. That's a
It
fallacy.
would prove it. It would prove it because if it's a logical inconsistency, it can't actually be an actual thing.
You're
That's
gay, dude.
how
You're
logic
gay.
works.
You're gay. Go eat your vegan meat, bro.
I will. I will. I will. Oh dear. No arguments whatsoever. It's all right. Hey, what do you want to debate?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What do you want to debate?
Um, about the evolution thing, because so my viewpoint is if evolution was real, we would still be evolving. Evolution doesn't stop. So that also comes from the fact of if we came from apes or however that viewpoint is, we would still be evolving. Humans would still be evolving over several hundreds of years, and we would be already at this point some different form of like human, I guess you could say. So evolution is already debunked from the fact of we aren't evolving still.
We are
Evolution
still
doesn't
evolving.
stop.
We are
No,
still evolving.
we're like what we have
We
now,
might have evolved
like
more slowly, depending on how you measure it, but we are always still evolving. Every life form is always evolving.
how? Like how have we evolved over the past, I would say, 100 years? What?
For example, babies' heads have been getting bigger and bigger on average on being born, mainly because it used to be the case that before we had C-section and safe procedures to, take when a baby's head couldn't fit through the vaginal canal to be given birth to, the woman would die as well as the baby because it just wouldn't be able to come out. But with C-section and with modern technology and science, we've been able to have the baby come out, and so they've been getting bigger, and there's been no issue with having birth. So I guess that's some example of evolution that is still going on.
So is babies' heads getting bigger the only form of evolution? If so, that's not a valid
One
source.
example. It's one example.
Right. So if you want to talk about babies' heads like just getting bigger, that's not, I need something more, because that's
Why is that
like,
not enough? That's literally an example of evolution. You know what evolution is? How genes change
yeah,
over
that's
time.
how people evolve over
Change.
time.
Right,
Correct.
exactly.
You're
So
saying,
that's
like,
an
you're
example.
saying
Babies are on
evolution
average
came
getting
from
bigger.
apes. Like
Yes, correct.
that makes sense.
How does
How
that not make sense? We come from apes. How does that not make sense? You're not explaining to me.
Okay, so if we came from apes, where did apes come from?
The previous life form, probably a smaller mammal. We can go back the evolutionary tree. It's very obvious. You can watch a science video. It's very simple. We have plenty of evidence. We can look at genetics, genes, DNA, chromosomes, types of chrome C, plenty of antibodies. We can look at so much stuff to observe how our evolutionary path goes back. But I mean, I don't understand what's so difficult about that.
I mean, I guess I don't really agree. As a Christian, we didn't come from apes. Evolution is like one of the biggest. Evolution isn't proved or disproved by science. So,
Appreciate the roses. So you said evolution isn't proved or disproved by science. No,
correct.
evolution kind of has been proven. And second of all, again, with the religious stuff, you're gonna have to prove God exists if you're gonna say.
Well, that's the same thing about God. Like, science doesn't prove or disprove God. Same with evolution.
No, I mean we don't. We can even use reason to disprove God and God Himself to disprove Himself, because when we look at religious books, there's a lot of internal inconsistencies as well as contradictions between different parts of different religions. Appreciate the roses.
I don't, I don't, I mean, I don't agree, but I mean, I'm gonna like, obviously, you can't physically prove evolution and you can't physically prove God. So, like, I get what you were saying, but it's one of those things. What?
We can prove evolution physically. We can observe life forms. We can't prove God because there's nothing physical, number one. And even rationally, it's contradictory, but by all means.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm more faith grounded. Out of
Well, that's the issue. Faith is not a good way to come to things. You can have faith about anything. I can have faith the earth is flat. That's not a good reason to believe that. So it just really doesn't work. It just really is not very good. It's just, yeah. You're going to have to work on that. You cannot use faith ever. We can't ever use faith. It's not good at all. Faith is just not a good way to come to conclusions at all in any way, shape, or form. Truthfully so. Hey, what you want to debate? What do you want to debate, sir?
Hey, bro.
What do you want to debate?
I just want to just quickly go back and forth with you about
Wait, one
the apes
second.
thing, the
Hammers, thank you
evolution
so
thing.
much for the roses. Hammers, thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate you so much. Really helping me out. Thank you so much for the roses, Hammers. Thank you very much. Yeah, what do you want to debate?
Just wanted to go back and forth with you, bro, about the apes and evolution theory.
Okay, yeah. So what's your point of contention with evolution
Uh,
being a fact?
do you know what it is? I have a couple of questions because I know that it's something that you firmly believe in. I presume.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Um, if are you saying that the ape came from a human form, or
No, I mean
are we from
technically
the
we
ape
are.
itself?
No, technically we are apes. Basically, we came from a common ancestor of something between like that was more apish. That when we think of apes, we came from a common ancestor that's more apish. I don't know if you've heard of Luca. It means last universal common ancestor, at least of human beings. It was like this, small hominid that lived in the plains of Africa. That's why I mean that's what we kind of came from, and then we evolved and changed, and we went into different lineages, and then we
So
ended up like this.
So let me question that and put a couple of questions to that. So if an ape formed into a human,
Mhm.
what was the first stage of that? Because we want to know what kind of started the evolution of it choosing to be a human, because that's a human thought to begin with. How
I
can an
mean,
ape?
They didn't choose to be a human, but it's kind of complicated because there's no set cutoff between a certain thing and another. So it's kind of a gradient, basically. Evolution works like a gradient, so it gradually happens. There's not one point where a non-human gives birth to a human, but it's kind of like a long gradient to a point where over enough time we can distinguish between Homo sapien and Homo afarensis or whatever. And so basically it slowly changes. There were other branches of humans as well. Our closest common ancestor out of the animal kingdom is chimps. So that's kind of how it works as well.
So where would you say that all the half-formed humans and chimps actually live on the Earth?
What do you mean?
Because they would, if you're dealing with a constantly moving evolution, that would mean that there'd be a point in the line where the displacement would take place. So what you'd have a period in every single century where you'd have half ape, half human humanoid forms living on the Earth with us. Because obviously, if we're all sharing the planet, then the stage 1 ape would still be here. The stage 2 ape and the stage 3 ape would be here. Because I understand it through Australopithecus. I understand that
but they died out. We beat them by competition. For example, that was Homo habilis.
No, but let me land this point. Because the reason why they say theory of evolution is because there's no fact in it.
No, I mean
it's all guesses.
The process of evolution is a factual thing. We can observe it even in bacteria.
The process is, yes, but the theory of a particular type of evolution where it involves apes.
Theory. It's a scientific theory, and so.
So why is it not a scientific fact?
And we can look at DNA as well. We can look at DNA. We can
Why is it not a fact? Do you think?
Pardon?
Why do you think it's not a fact? Can we talk about that?
What is not a fact?
If the scientific theory of evolution is a theory, why is it not the scientific fact of evolution?
Scientific theories are essentially facts because of the process of methodology that has been used to reach them and epistemology that has been used to reach them from what we know. But the way it's happened is that we look at tests, we look at DNA, we look at fossils. There's so many scientific things that we can look at that makes it a factual thing. For example, the Earth being round is a fact. It's not the theory of round Earth, it's a fact because we agree. Science. That's exactly why we believe this.
Let me ask you this question then. Because I know as a black man, I possess a pineal gland that produces brain and central nervous system inside my body, melanin. Brain and central nervous system melanin is pumped inside of all black Africans because they have a pineal gland in their brain. So where we're talking about the African in particular, which I presume you are.
Yeah,
you're a dark-colored being and you appear to have an afro. So you have to understand that you are the only being with that on the Earth. Nobody else has that but you. You're the only being that possesses the ability to produce ether for hair, which is an element of space. So I'm going to ask you this now. So are you telling me there are African monkeys different to European monkeys? And if so, which one do we come from?
We all come from you're convoluting it. Number one, everyone has a pineal gland and you're kind of convoluting it. But listen, I'll add you back on, but I do want to give someone else a chance. Guys, double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in. I was going to end the live, but it seems like we're getting a little bit of people. Let's hope we can get to 100 viewers. That's the aim, 100 viewers and hopefully well. But I feel like this guy's confusing it. He's overcomplicating it way more than it needs to be. That he's confusing himself, but it's okay. Double tap the screen. If you disagree with any of these points, do comment or even join on, and I'll gladly debate you. Let's get some more people in here. But yeah, he was confusing himself as well as a lot of people in the stream. I was kind of even getting lost as well. The pineal gland, I don't know what he's trying to refer to. The one that helps you sleep, but I don't know where that point is going. Hey, what do you want to debate? What do you want to debate?
Good morning.
What do you want to debate? Hello. No? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, what do you want to debate, sir?
Yeah, I want to talk about how you say God is imaginary.
Okay. Why do you believe in God?
First, I believe that God, is real. I want to know what you believe. Like, do you believe God is? Are you an atheist?
Where's your evidence that it's real? As you can tell by God is imaginary, obviously, but where's your evidence of his existence?
Okay, so my evidence is the books that I've been provided with and facts of people who saw, a man claimed to be God.
Yes,
and
he
saw
claimed,
a man do things that only God can do.
Yeah, those are claims that have yet to been proven, okay? Schizophrenia is real. If you have no evidence that can justify that, then it's just claims and it'll stay claims.
All right, bro. But there were people who saw. I mean, there were people who saw Jesus do things that only God can do.
Yes, they claim to see that Jesus do things that only God could do. Those are claims, and they stay claims until they've been proven and falsified. People have claimed to rise from the dead in the past. There's plenty of other cults, plenty of other religions that have claimed many things. I could even claim to be God right now. I could have claimed to have come back from the dead, but none of those claims have been proven. So essentially, they're
But
probably suffering from a bad case of schizophrenia rather than actually speaking facts.
but like you claiming to be God but not showing it doesn't
But
work. It
neither
won't
did
work.
neither did they. They've just written it down in a book. If I claim that I rose from the dead and write it down on the book, that doesn't necessarily make
Can,
it true. And this person
can
saying
you
there's
disprove it?
hold on one second, my dear boy. This person's saying there's 400 to 500 credible witnesses. There's something called mass psychosis. I suggest that you possibly look into it. But what did you say?
Can you disprove it?
Can I disprove it?
Yeah. Can
I'm
you
not
show me
saying
that
anything.
those
I don't
people
need to
didn't
disprove it.
see?
If I say Santa Claus is real and I say, can you disprove it?
Wait, you're going off the point. I'm asking
No,
you
I'm
to
not going
disprove
off
that
the
people are
point.
saying.
I'm using your logic against you. If I make a claim and say, can you disprove it? You can't disprove a negative. If I'm making the claim, the burden of proof is on me to explain, give the evidence and provide the evidence that my claim is true, not for you to disprove a negative, because that's literally impossible. Sorry. I know logic is annoying, but you have to go by logic. Anyways, I'm going to add someone else in, guys. Double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in here. If you disagree with any of the prompts, God is imaginary, go vegan, or evolution is a fact, I'll gladly debate you. I'll also be looking at comments and reading some comments. In fact, I'll read some comments for a bit now. If you have any questions, do ask. If you have any evidence that you want to say and you don't want to come on, I'll gladly come and debate you in the comments. I do want to read some comments and see what you guys are saying. If God is imaginary, then why go vegan? Veganism is about ethics and it's an ethical argument. And the fact that it's an ethical thing to do, and that yeah, essentially that's it. Why is there something rather than nothing? I don't know. You're asking me these massive philosophical questions that have been asked for centuries. I don't know exactly why. Where did your moral standards come from? It just comes from around me, my social upbringing, my culture, as well as my critical thinking, what I see and how I see things affect people. And yeah, that's how I come to it. It's always changing, it's ever evolving, it's not objective. Morality, even by definition, cannot be objective because it's dependent on a subject. Morality, if there is no subjects in existence, morality essentially doesn't exist. So you need people to have morality. That doesn't make sense. How does it not make sense? Life can't come from non-life. Not necessarily, and that has no link to atheism. We do have theories behind that, but even if in the case that I don't know where life came from, that doesn't make it that God made it. That's another claim which you have yet to have evidence for. But yeah, however, is evolution a fact? Evolution is a fact because there's evidence behind it. We can observe in DNA how mutations change living beings over time, even in bacteria on a small scale and a fast scale, if you want to see it in front of your eyes. Well, evolution obviously does take a very long time. Anyway, I'm going to add some more people in here. Double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in here. And here we
Hey,
What do you want to debate?
I want to